In this video, I want to go over and elaborate a little bit more over some FRA OTMA requirements. In the earlier video that I shot at the time, I had 2 rail cars sitting on my property that needed to be OTMA to a shop. Since then, I've had several more. In fact, in the period of 10 weeks, I am now sitting on 10 rail cars that have to be OTMA to a shop. And what I'm going to try to do to help this out a little bit is I'm going to try to figure out how to get this GoPro to take pictures, because it says it can take pictures. And if it can, I want to upload some pictures on here of some of the actual defects of these cars and why I'm having to send them to a shop. I'm hoping I can do that, and that'd be a really nice illustration to show you some of the things I've been having to deal with. One of the issues that I talked about also in that earlier video about OTMA is that there is a publication, HMG 127. It is the hazardous material guidance that the FRA has that they use for the process of filing an OTMA. And in the back of that, there's a section where they require what's called a root cause analysis. They want to know what happened and essentially figure out why it happened and hopefully figure out how to prevent it from happening in the future. I have had the distinct displeasure of having a lot of experience now in filling out root cause analysis, to the point that I just went ahead and I drew myself up a basic master form following the outline given in the guidance. I'm going to hold these up to the camera. I hope it reads it, shows it clear enough, so you can see how I've got it formatted. Not saying that what I've got is the bestest, but it's what I got. And if you don't have anything, maybe it'll be a good guide so that you can take it, modify it, and make whatever it is, if you have to do it, make whatever you do better than what I have. So, first thing is, this is my master. This is my master form, and what they want in the root cause analysis report is they want a description of, here, I also put in here where I got the structure and the format for this root cause analysis. I just document right up in here that I got it from that HMG 127 attachment A. And they want a description of the incident, background, I'm assuming background of the incident, equipment background, initial field conclusions, and then I added in here that it's submitted by me, and then on my stuff that I forward up to my suppliers, I'll put in my full name and then the name of my terminal and a phone number for me, because a copy of this eventually gets sent on up to the FRA. What I want to show you is kind of what that actually looks like. This is a printed out one of one I did earlier this year. I modified it, made it a little bit more generic so it doesn't exactly show anything really accurate, so there's nothing really there. It's kind of a modified version of what I sent in, but I think it gets the whole, it'll give you a nice flavor of what it entails and everything. So what I've got here is root cause analysis report for the car number. I just went ABCD 005500, and then it's dated 9/16/2021. And then of course, I got here that it's formatted based on HMG 127. Then it says description of event. Then I got a background, and I don't know if you guys can read that, if it matters or not, but I've got it all written out. And you're supposed to label each page like 1 of 1 or 1 of 2. Well, I did that. I did. But when I printed it out, it didn't come on this. It didn't come out right. It printed on the second sheet. But that's where I got page 1 of 2, and then at the bottom I got page 2 of 2, and then I've got my root cause analysis. I'll read it over real quick. Description of incident. On the afternoon of 9/16/21, I began the top of car inspection and car readings when I discovered that all 3 of the 2-inch valve plugs were badly gouged up by pipe wrenches. I took pictures of all 3, then proceeded to the sample line valve to take the pressure reading. The sample line valve, SLV, had to be opened using a wrench and would not fully seat even after tightening down with a wrench. All right, that was my incident. Now, a little brief history, background. All 3 of the 2-inch plugs were made of brass and not steel. The SLV valve stem was driven in excessively tight. I had to use the same 10-inch adjustable wrench that I used to remove its plug on the handle just to get it to turn. I then proceeded to finish opening the valve by hand and felt the valve stem bind and grind as I opened it 1 full turn. I then attempted to close the valve by hand and it would only turn 1/2 of a turn. I then used the same 10-inch wrench to seat the valve, and that was not enough leverage to get it to fully seat. This is when I took the picture that shows this valve leaking. Like I said, if I can get this camera to do it, I'll do it and show you that. This is when I decided to offload and recover this car today instead of tomorrow when I originally intended, as I could not trust this valve to not get worse. Then he went equipment background. The SLV sample line valve markings show this valve is made by MGM. All of the 2-inch valves are made by Rego. The car was built in 1 of 14 and based on the service dates shown has not been to shop since. There are no tags attached to any of the valves suggesting that they have been rebuilt or repaired. Car water capacity in gallons was 33,600, and if it's available, I will also put on there its water capacity in pounds, simply because on one of the cars I had an issue with where the FRA contacted me as a follow-up. They specifically wanted the car's water capacity in gallons. And if there's any tags, and some of these I've done where there's actually tags attached to the valves, I take pictures of that. I take pictures of the car valves and try to document everything that way, because that's also one of the things the FRA is going to want to find out, if it's one of the valves or anything associated with the valves, how long has it been in service. I think these valves are expected to survive 7 years, 7 to 10 years at the most. And after that, they can die, be rebuilt, be repaired, whatever. But they're supposed to have be able to service 7 to 10 years. And they also, here's another thing: car contained propane. So when I had it, I'm dealing with a car that's got propane and now propane residue. And last contained propane prior to being shipped here. One of the things they want to know inside in that root cause analysis that they want is they want to know if this car has been filled back and forth between various commodities or not. The car was loaded at the fly-by-night refinery in somewhere USA with 30,080 gallons and shipped on 9/6/2021. Initial field conclusions. They're my conclusions because I'm making this. Whoever does their root cause analysis later on, they're free to put in their opinion. I'll put in obvious things, and I will also put in some of my opinion. Whether that's right or wrong, accept it or not, nobody's told me any different. So I'm giving them my initial field conclusion. Here's my conclusion. Using brass, even forged brass, to make these 2-inch plugs is not smart. Steel, even forged steel, cannot survive repeated use and abuse by pipe wrenches over even a few years, so why should brass be any better? The sample line valves in general, and this one in particular, are chronically misused and abused. It is without hyperbole that of all the cars that come into my terminal, 95+% of the sample line valve handles are driven down so tightly that an adjustable wrench of at least 8 inches in length is needed to back them off. In several cases, even a 12-inch wrench is insufficient. Any valve that requires only hand or finger tightness to seal cannot long survive a series of poorly trained and/or apathetic operators who give no thought to the long-term utility and life of a car. My conclusion is what I put in there. That's how I saw it, and that's what I'm convinced led up to the whole problem. So that's my format. I wanted to show you that. I wanted to go over that, and like I said, if I can get these pictures, not sure how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to work on that and try to get them uploaded to you. So just wanted to share with you what I'm doing and where I'm at, and maybe some of this will be helpful to you. Thank you.